see these just plummet. It opened, opened at 7.5. It's at 3. All right, guys. It is your commish, and I'm here with our celebrity picker for week 1, Lance Taylor from the next round. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. I'm
Appreciate
good.
you having me.
Thank you. Well, a little confession here. This is take 2. So we met last week to do our week 1 preview, and somebody did not know how to press record. So we're here again.
Yeah, somebody didn't know how to pick a Big Ten game last week either. I had Nebraska against Illinois. That didn't work out.
Yeah, man. So that we were actually just talking about that. I really thought that Nebraska was going to run away with it, especially after the touchdown, after the field goal.
Just too many self-inflicted wounds. You know, you talk about the safety, and they recovered from that. 2 missed extra points, the scoop and score before the half.
Right before the half. That's
and I thought the roughing the passer on the interception, that was big too.
So that's one of those things where I've texted my buddy. So Tyler Davis, I owed you a steak, and I made good with the win there. But I was texting him. I was texting Jordan Cole, one of the founders of this league, and I was like, if I was a Nebraska fan, I'd be just irate. But
livid.
I had 4 points on Illinois, and I was like, it's of course the hit I don't think is what did it. I think it was the drive through.
Driving into the ground, absolutely.
I get it, but I also think it's a dumb rule too. But I get it. You get a franchise quarterback. If that happened to like Tua or really any of the recent Alabama quarterbacks, that's kind of a huge deal. So I guess you got to make it fair for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that call 99% of the time. Yeah, I don't think it was the hit. I don't think that was the intent. I don't think it was helmet to helmet, obviously, but it was the driving into the ground.
Yep. So, well, we are about halfway through week 0. I think we've got 3 more games. We got UAB, Jacksonville State down at the Crampton Bowl. We've got Ohio State versus Minnesota, and then we've got who do we have? We have one more. One more on Thursday. I'll have to think about it. I have to look it up. But we're focusing today on week 1. So we've got 10 games. This is about to be a 6-day stretch of football. We got one on Wednesday.
UCF, Boise State.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And I've been tinkering. I've been back and forth. Right now I've got Boise. But
I like Central Florida.
We may have to split it. Split. We can go one-on-one on that. But we've got a game this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 of them on Saturday, and then we have a Sunday and a Monday. So we've got quite a slate ahead of us. So we're going to run through it real quick. We're going to kind of give a couple things that we like on each game, and we'll go from there. So Friday night, 5 p.m. kickoff. We've got North Carolina at Virginia Tech. What stands out to you?
Boy, what a pivotal game an important game, I should say, for Justin Fuente. And North Carolina, although they've got, arguably the best quarterback in college football and Sam Howell coming back, and the expectation is to get to an ACC championship game, possibly get to a 14 playoff, they lose a ton of production. Between 2 receivers and 2 running backs, they lose about 4,500 yards of production. So I think the offense will be a little bit different, although Sam Howell is a dynamic quarterback. Again, really big game for Virginia Tech. I got to play North Carolina, though, to win this game. I think it might be tight. Point spread might come into play here. Virginia Tech might cover the points, but I'll take Carolina to win the game.
This kind of seems like a Nebraska-Illinois game where both teams really need this win, especially starting off your year. The spread is 5.5 right now, UNC, and the public is on UNC. But it dropped a little bit. I've got to think Virginia Tech's going to take it home. But again, I've also I haven't had any whiskey or anything, so it's probably going to change. I'll have
It'd be a big win for Justin Fuente.
It'd be massive. This would be a great way to vault him into the 2021 season. Yeah. So game 2 is going to be that night, a Friday night at 8 p.m. We've got Michigan State at Northwestern. One thing that is really eye-opening: the line opened at 7.5 and it's down to 3. Northwestern is a 3-point favorite. So something's going on there. What's catching your eye?
Yeah, I don't know. Mel Tucker in year 2. I'm not a huge Mel Tucker guy. Pat Fitzgerald has done just an incredible job, obviously, at Northwestern. They were half away from winning a Big Ten championship last year against Ohio State, a team that eventually went on, played for the national championship. The line movement does scare me a little bit. I liked Northwestern straight up in this game. Minus the 3, it just seems a little too fishy for me, but I'll still say Northwestern finds a way to win this game. Northwestern only returns 11 starters. I think that's the fewest in the Big Ten, but I'll play Northwestern here.
I'm a
better coach.
There you go. Well, so that's something we look at. Who's got the better talent? Who's got the better coach? And who's got momentum too? Who's having the better season? But of course, game 1 is kind of tough to tell. This is one of those games. I've got Michigan State at 6. That's 100% going to change later throughout the week. These mid games, so I've got my 2 or 3. I've got Bama at 10. I've got Ole Miss at 9. I've got the ones that I know are going to win, and I've got a couple upsets thrown in here. So this Michigan State's just I have nowhere else to put them other than 6. But again, I'm going to tinker quite a bit.
Still pretty high for a dog.
It's definitely high. But that's the problem. I've got a lot of upsets.
I love how you think that Alabama and Ole Miss have no shot at losing. Alabama doesn't, but
they don't
Ole
have a
Miss
shot.
does.
We'll have to discuss that in a couple minutes, though. I think the spread for Ole Miss is 9.5.
I get that.
It's a 3-touchdown game. We'll see. Game 3, we've got Wisconsin, Penn State. Wisconsin is a 4.5-point favorite, and the public is on them as well. As of this morning, 76% were on Wisconsin.
I think Graham Mertz might be the best quarterback Wisconsin's had since Russell Wilson. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
But Graham Mertz was up and down last year, his first year as a starting quarterback. They didn't run the football nearly as effective as you expect the Badgers to do. I think they get back to the basics, opens things up for Mertz. I like this Wisconsin team a lot. But Penn State, tale of two seasons last year, they started out 0-5. They win their final 4 games. Sean Clifford looked the part of a big-time, big-taking quarterback. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it comes down to one possession, but I'll still say Wisconsin wins this game.
I think so, too. It's definitely one of the big noon games that Fox really is cashing in on. Penn State, they've got kind of an interesting run. They've got this, and they've got Auburn in a couple weeks. So I think they're going to beat Auburn. We're getting ahead of ourselves as well.
Big September for Penn State.
It's going to be big. So game number 4 is going to be Alabama-Miami in Atlanta, 2:30. Not much to say other than whether they cover or not. I think it's an 18-point spread. I think Bama probably covers it.
Yeah, going into year 4, Manny Diaz 1-4 against top 25s, including 0-3 last year. In the regular season, the 2 top 25s he played, Clemson and North Carolina, got beat by a little over 30 points per game in those 2 matchups. Alabama dominates these neutral site openers. I don't know if they dominate here. If it was 18.5, we were playing the point spread, might play Miami. Not yet sure on which side I'm going to go on that. But as far as straight up, this is easy. I'm with you. Yeah. This is probably a 10.
It's probably 10. I wonder how Bryce Young does. He looks like he's got it. I guess we'll figure out.
Yeah.
It's one thing.
I don't think he's going to be Mac Jones. I don't think he's going to be Tua, but I think Bryce will still be really good.
Yeah. Game 5, we've got Indiana and Iowa. This is another one where I'm really not sure. It's a 3.5-point game.
So tough. I'll play Iowa at home. I think Indiana's going to have a really good season. I don't think last year was a fluke by any means. I think Tom Allen has built a culture. He's got a really good program, really good defense. Michael Penix Jr. coming back at quarterback. Boy, this is a coin flip to me, but I'm going to play Iowa.
And Iowa's a 3.5-point favorite, but they, at least as of this morning, they've got 22% of the public. So we'll see what goes on there. The 15-year-old in me has to not smirk every time I say Penix Jr.
Yeah,
it's almost like peanuts. Louisiana and Texas. So we talked a little bit last week about this. This point spread is 9 points right now, but it opened at 16.5. So it has really, really dropped.
It's down to 7.5 a minute ago.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Okay, so it's somebody knows something.
I think it's smart money coming on Louisiana. Louisiana's good. Again, Sark is just trying to establish, speaking of cultures, that in Austin. I've also implementing this new offense. He's got Hudson Card, an unknown at quarterback. Obviously had a great high school career, but we really don't know what this guy's going to be able to do at the next level. That is a physical Louisiana team. If you watched them last year beat Iowa State, they're going to play with a ton of confidence. But I disagree with you. I think Texas is going to win this. This would be a horrible loss for Sark to start the Texas era. So I'm going to say Texas wins this game.
I may switch over to Texas as well, but I think it's going to be uncomfortable at halftime. But I think
I would not feel good about this being a 7, 8, 9, 10 game. Though.
There you go. Yeah. Take Texas, but take them low. And it's tough, too, because Sark's got so many people to answer to. He's got a lot of the boosters coming in, at least for novices like me. It sounds like he's got a lot of people to answer to. And so this would be a very bad loss. Georgia-Clemson, we talked a little bit last week. I think we both think – I don't want to put words in your mouth. I think we both think Georgia's going to win, but I think Clemson wins out after this. You think?
I'm the other way.
You're the other way. All right.
I think Clemson wins this game. I think Clemson wins out. I think they go 12-0.
Okay.
But I think Georgia loses this game, and then they win out. They play Alabama in the SEC Championship. I like Clemson here.
So Clemson is a 3-point favorite, at least 31%, at least on Vegas Insider. Has Clemson, but again –
everybody's hyping up JT Daniels, a guy that I watched a lot at USC his true freshman year. And he was really good in the Final Four games last year for Georgia, but best competition was in a bowl game against Cincinnati. DJ Uiagalelei is going to be fantastic this year, in my opinion. I think Clemson wins the national championship, so I've got one in here.
Put him on there. I was going to say, I'm going to butcher it. Uiagalelei, you obviously got more practice than I do. I feel like he's this year's Mac Jones. Mac Jones, Tua got hurt, and Mac was just thrown in, like, just do your best. Lost to Auburn, and then just, obviously, we know what he did last year. I feel like that's going to be Clemson this year.
I could see that, 100%, yeah.
This is a tricky game, and I've kind of gone back and forth as well. LSU at UCLA. UCLA looked really good on Saturday, but it was also against Hawaii and in front of all 5 UCLA fans.
So tough. Dorian Thompson-Robinson's got to play better for UCLA to have a chance in this game. And LSU, the unknowns, the logistical nightmare that they're dealing with what their state's dealing with this hurricane right now, and they've been displaced. And this can motivate, but at the same time, it can have some adverse effects with this team being completely exhausted before they even kick it off for 2021. I'm going to play LSU because more athletes. I don't love this game. It's not going to be high on my list, but I'll play LSU.
It's tough. LSU being a 4-point favorite is kind of a red flag. And they've been, at least this week, they're going to be in Houston. That's tough. That's going to be really tough. It was apparently a 10-hour bus ride, which should have been a 45-hour bus ride.
Can't even imagine.
That's tough. So our prayers go out, especially for everybody in Louisiana right now. The last two, at least in my opinion, but again, I have never won this league, so my opinion doesn't carry much weight. I think Game 9 and Game 10 are both gimmies. We've got Notre Dame in Tallahassee playing against Florida State. I've got Notre Dame at 8. I maybe even bump them up.
Well, Notre Dame is going to take a step backwards at quarterback. Jack Cohn's got a lot of experience. Started a lot of games at Wisconsin. He's not going to be Ian Book, though, and Notre Dame loses a lot outside of just him. Offense will be all about Kyron Williams this year. Florida State should be a little improved. I'll be really interested to see what Milton McKenzie can give them at the quarterback position. This would be a huge win for Mike Norvell in year 2, but I don't see it. I'm with you. I'm all about Notre Dame here.
Just keep it close, I hope. Louisville, Ole Miss. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I would think that Matt Corral, if he can throw under 5 interceptions, I would think.
If he doesn't turn it over 4 or 5 times, Ole Miss should be fine. Defense has got to be better year 2 under DJ Durkin. And you look at Louisville, a pretty good year 1 with 8 wins under Scott Satterfield. They took steps backwards last year. But Malik Cunningham, I think this full off season coming out of COVID is going to be much better this year. Do think Louisville will be able to score some points here, but Ole Miss, the offense, way too much. They're going to miss Elijah Moore, but I still think they're going to be really good. I think Ole Miss will be able to run the football. Matt Corral, really dynamic. I'll play Ole Miss here.
Awesome. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what is one thing you want to see this Saturday, or even this week? Is there something that
I'd like to see a massive upset? I mean, I'd love to see Texas lose. If Alabama or going back Thursday night, if Ohio State was to lose to Minnesota, I mean, we've already got immediate chaos. This is one of the best opening weeks on paper that I've ever seen. I mean, we've got great matchups. We've got 13 or 14 really, really good college football games. So super excited about that. Would love to see an upset or two, and just excited we're back.
I am too. So that's all we've got, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, man.
See you.